What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and today we are continuing our draft prep for the upcoming 2019 draft. We're actually finishing it off here today with my top 5 safety rankings. Now, I was going to do a top 10, but anytime that when I start my top 10, I'm looking at guys that could go, like, 5th round at best, 6th, 7th round. I mean, safety, for what it is becoming an undervalued position. That's why, look at the last offseason, there's still some big-name safeties on the market that weren't getting signed. Trey Boston, Eric Reed. I mean, maybe there's some other reasons there. But safety truly is becoming a position that is pretty undervalued in the National Football League League right now. So trying to find top 10 guys that are going to be, day 1, day 2 talents, always is going to be kind of tough. But I was able to kind of hammer out my top 5 and put in some honorable mentions that I was pretty satisfied with, much more so than just straight up doing a top 10. So before we jump into the top 5, my 3 honorable mentions are, first up, Lucas Dennis from Boston College, undersized free safety, but he is a ball hawk. Had a lot of interceptions in 2016. Still looks pretty good in 2017. Maybe a step down. Maybe a lot of people are expecting to maintain his high level. Maybe if he can close out the end of the season with a couple picks, a lot more people will regard him maybe as a top 5. Lots of maybes, though. So you get that many maybes attached to your name, you're coming as an honorable mention. And I think Dennis probably will go in the 4th round. Next up, Marvell Tell III from USC. Long-rangey safety, 6'3", just over 200 pounds. A guy that can play strong, can play free. Just a little bit inconsistency, especially with his tackling. Needs to improve in that area. But a good athlete. Great ideal size for the next level. So I think based on traits alone, he should find himself in that 3rd, 4th round territory. More likely in the 4th round. And then last up, we have Jonathan Abram from Mississippi State. More people are talking about him than I am for my top 5. I've seen him in a lot of other people's top 5. I just haven't watched enough tape, and I'm not just going to put him up here based on the reputation of others. I got to go by what I've seen, and I definitely do need to look a little bit more at that back end of Mississippi State. So more so looking at Jeffrey Simmons, looking at Montez Sweat, a little bit of Jamal Peters, but I haven't really watched a whole lot on Jonathan Abram. But a lot of people are speaking of him in high regard. So right now he's an honorable mention, and when I get more time to it, he could very well crack my final top 5, or maybe I'll have a more confidence in general in my safety rankings to give a top 10 next time around. But without further ado, jumping into my top 5, starting at number 5, we have Jaquan Johnson, 5'10", 190 pounds, out of the U. Right now, he is an 81.9 Pro Football Focus grade, which is one of the best in the ACC. 61 tackles on the year and 1 interception, so a little bit down from 2016, where he had 96 tackles, 4 picks, 3 forced fumbles, but pretty much everyone looked better on that Hurricanes defense last year, maybe excluding Joe Jackson, who's been consistent throughout. But I do think Jaquan Johnson has great skill set, ideal. Kind of reminds me of Budda Baker, to be completely honest with you. Maybe not as explosive an athlete as Budda Baker was coming into Washington, but very similar play styles. I think Jaquan Johnson, as a free safety, should probably go, we're starting right now in the mid to early 3rd round territory, depending on how well he tested the combine. But being that undersized, as reports, I was looking at Walter Football that he ran a 4.55. That's kind of slow for, a guy that's his size in the secondary. Yeah, definitely needs to run a little bit better than that to solidify himself as a day 2 prospect. Going to number 4, it's going to be Khaleke Hudson, 6 feet tall, 205 pounds, out of Michigan. So far this year, I'm going to be completely honest with you, haven't seen him. Don't know if he's been banged up. I think he's been clear off the injury report. Just hasn't been showing up on tape for Michigan. I'm going to go back and watch a little bit more tape of Michigan. Pretty much have stopped since Rashawn Gary got injured. They got a really good defense, and I'll definitely watch a lot more because, they might have to be one of the teams that we kind of hitch our wagons to try to beat Bama. But Hudson in 2016 was incredible, kind of that hybrid safety moneybacker role. So this year, like I said, 23 tackles and a sack. 2016, however, last year, 77 tackles, 16 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. He was all over the place, and hell, even looked better than, like, say, when Jabril Peppers was a member of that Michigan Wolverines defense. But this year, I honestly don't know. I don't want to comment. I don't want to assume anything. But his numbers have been down. But based upon his body of work over the last 2 years, I feel having him right now at number 4, at least holding on to the number 4 spot, is fair enough, and I think he'll be a 3rd round prospect. Going to number 3 on my list, it's going to be Taylor Rapp, 6 feet tall, 210 pounds, out of Washington. Currently has an 86.5 Pro Football Focus grade. I think that's one of the best in the Pac-12. 47 tackles on the year, 4 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions. Pretty much your modern-day safety right now. Can do it all, jack of all trades, really master of none. Good in coverage, good in the box, helping against the run. Also, you can bring him on blitz packages. So I am very, very high on Taylor Rapp. I think for sure he is a 2nd round talent that could potentially squeak into the 1st round if he has a very impressive combine. There's no real weakness with this game. And anytime you get those kind of players, I mean, the only real weakness I guess you could say is he's in the middle. You know, he's not your big strong safety that is going to be covering tight ends with ease and is going to make teams terrified to throw it across the middle like your Cam Chancellors. And he's not your undersized, super athletic free safety that's pretty much a glorified corner that can tackle. He's in that middle range, so I guess if I had to critique, that'd be it. But for me personally, I like that. I like that in my safeties, that they're very, very well rounded. And they can do it all. You don't have to be worried about them in pass coverage. You don't have to worry about them getting beat over top. And I think that's the kind of traits and skill set you get from Taylor Rapp right now. And I think, yeah, again, good combine, first-round talent. Right now, I see early second-rounder. Going number 2. Oh, geez, here comes some Florida Gator by a C4. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, 6 feet tall, 210 pounds, out of Florida. The once-upon-a-time cornerback, now moving to safety. So far this year, 60 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and an interception. But he did start as a pure cornerback. I believe his first year was a starting corner as a freshman. He had like 3 picks, a bunch of pass deflections. He looked really good. And then I believe in 2017, because of injury, we moved him to safety. He played pretty well there. And here in 2018, he's been playing safety. He's playing a little bit of that money backer role. And he's been excelling, man. He's been debatably the best player on our defense. You got Ja'Kai Polite's been really good. You got Voshon Joseph's been pretty good. Brad Stewart, the other safety, has been really good. But I think Chauncey Gardner, the leader of our defense, is the next line of Florida as we try to lay claim to DBU. Very good playmaker. Again, I kind of have almost the exact grade as Taylor Rapp for Chauncey Gardner. I think he's going to probably go in the second round. He has a really good combine, could go into the first. But obviously, just because of Florida Gator buys, we're going to put him ahead of Rapp. But literally, they're exactly tied. I like both of them a lot as prospects. And I do think right now, looking around at all the pre-draft hype, I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is getting slept on a little bit because that Florida Gator defense hasn't been what it's been the last 2-3 years. But he's a really good playmaker, trust me. And then ending up at number 1, newcomer, kind of coming out of nowhere this year. And he is a very, very good, very, very impressive. And before we even say his name, you always got to know one-year wonders. Steroids? I'm joking. Deontay Thompson. Deontay Thompson, 6'2", 195 pounds, out of Alabama. Currently has a 91.9 Pro Football Focus score for those of you that like the nerd stats. But he has 50 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 5 pass deflections, and has been debatably, I think, along with Quinnen Williams, not only like most impressive, most improved newcomer for this upcoming draft, but just the best players on that Alabama defense. I was kind of shocked. I wasn't really buying the hype. Deontay Thompson, I mean, I don't really go on my way to watch Alabama games until it comes close to draft time when I have to watch him to look at prospects. But I was like, oh, yeah, this Deontay Thompson guy. Yeah, just another guy. Oh, he's the next Landon Collins, or is the next HaHa Klindix. Oh, yeah, whatever. Finally got around to watching him play, and my God, man, he is living up to the hype, and even more so than that. I think he's a legitimate first-round talent. Looking at, he's incredibly versatile, really good in coverage ability. He's your really good, typical first-round talent Alabama safety. He is very much in the next line of the HaHa Klindixes, the Landon Collins of the world. And I think depending on how well he tested the combine, that is only going to affect if he goes in the top half of the first round or the bottom half of the first round. But either way, I'd be utterly shocked if this guy fell into the first round. I'd be mind-boggled if he fell in the first round. And there's enough teams that still need some safety help that would be more than willing to invest a first-round pick in Deontay Thompson. I guess the question is, where does he compare to, the Jamal Adams? Where does he compare to the Derwin Jameses of the world? And I would say he's probably in between. I think Jamal Adams, for me, has been the best safety I've seen in quite some time. Derwin James, hell, I mean, even his teammate Minkah Fitzpatrick from last year. I think he's right in that same bubble with those guys. I think Jamal Adams has been the best safety I've seen in quite some time. I don't really rate those guys on the same tier, but just right below him. I think in the clump of all those other guys, Deontay Thompson is going to find himself. And if you need a safety, go out of your way and watch some Deontay Thompson tape. So there you go, guys. Those are my top 5 safety rankings, and hopefully by the time we do the second version, I will have enough confidence to give out a full top 10. If you agree or disagree with any of the names you saw here on my list, let me know in the comment section below. If I slept on one of your homeboys, one of your favorite players, let me know as well. And if you enjoyed this content, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button and smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, guys, it's C4 saying peace out.